All right, Peanut Gallery. We're back.
This is not wrestling related, but Jake Paul is facing Mike Tyson.
That is when I saw that, I'm like, that's awesome.
I mean, I know, like I said, not wrestling related, but
it's combat sport related.
It is, but we're primarily a wrestling channel. But hello,
you can't go
Jake Paul.
This is Mike Tyson's first fight in such a long ass time, and with Jake Paul, I mean, this is a big money fight.
They both have like talent that are related to WWE, obviously, and
who does Mike Tyson have?
Oh well, Mike Tyson.
Well, he was involved in. Well,
he was involved. Like
right.
There was some wrestling involvement. Of course, Jake Paul is Logan Paul's brother. So,
but once again, Mike Tyson literally went to AEW because he was paid a lot of fucking money, and he admitted that. He's like, I want to work with WWE because he actually likes WWE.
Right. But anyways, this guy. Jack Perry. I can't remember his name. He joined the
Jungle Boy.
He joined the Bullet Club, not
House
of
Torture.
He joined the House of Torture, making it even more irrelevant than it actually is.
The most cringy little dweeb who looks like he aged 30 fucking years on meth joined the
Losers Club.
Yeah, the Losers Club of the Bullet Club. It's like every time I see them, I'm like, I feel like it's a new faction, but it's literally Bullet Club, and it's like, man, that's literally
that's how far Bullet Club has fallen.
Yeah, I mean, everything else Bullet Club is fine. Like with David Finlay, the aggression is there, but then you have the second cousin who was caught diddling a child, which is the House of Torture.
So I don't like House of Torture. I even like them less.
I literally don't even know what's happening in New Japan at this point. They're just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what's sticking, and none of it is happening.
William Regal is back on TV. Well, he just came back. He made an appearance. I thought that was pretty cool.
Awesome. I watched the segment between him and Charlie Dempsey, his IRL kid, and it was awesome. They are literally the same person. I don't think. But no, it's cool because it gives No Quarter Catch Point a new rival with William.
Yep.
And now William Regal can do something with that.
Because he's now allowed to be on TV for his contract.
Right. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, so am
I think it's cool.
All right, Okada. We got a lot to say about Kazuchika Okada.
Now, he is not a draw, clearly, because nobody cared. But I like this direction.
I do too. This was apparently a Tony Khan direction. Like this was
a broken clock is right twice a day.
Right. So I think it's going to be interesting to see him in this position. But what I really want to talk about is the reason that he chose AEW over WWE. And he noted this in a recent interview. In addition to being paid more, probably he's getting paid about $4.7 million a year over 3 years. I'm sure that WWE didn't go over $2 million a year.
Right.
Because WWE knows how to run shit, and AEW, daddy's money.
Yeah, that's literally what it is.
Yeah, so money was one thing, but the other thing was because he wanted to work with the Elite.
He wanted to work with the Elite.
He did. He wanted to work with the Elite.
He
wanted to work with Matt and Nick Jackson.
Why would you want to work with Matt and Nick Jackson?
Because he thought it would just be fun. It's kind of the same reason that Adam Copeland is just there to have fun.
Right. And let's put Okada in the immediate rivalry with Eddie Kingston for a title that shouldn't even fucking exist at all.
Exactly. But anyways, I wanted to mention that because, of course, blah, 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 big signing, and who cares? He's
not a big signing, clearly.
He was big in Japan. I mean, let's talk about that. Let's talk about someone who's not satisfied amongst the many people in AEW who are not satisfied. And that's Matt Hardy. His contract's coming up at the end of the month, and I don't think that he's going to resign.
I don't think so either. I think Jeff is probably going to be doing the same exact thing. He's probably going to be heading right out the door with him. But the problem is, it's like, well, let's just go back to WWE. I don't think they want your ass.
No.
Like, at all.
No.
Your dumbass little wife, and your junky brother are a bunch of lightning rods.
Right.
And they will not tolerate whatever bullshit you pull, even though you are veterans.
Right. The other thing, too, is I don't even think TNA will take them.
No. Unless it's a backstage role, they're not going to be. Right. They're not going to be there. Matt Hardy can barely fucking move.
Right, and Jeff Hardy can't move without being high. So
right, and he's hurt. Right. So what the fuck can you do?
And with Matt's contract ending does not necessarily mean that Jeff's contract is ending.
Well, because they signed at way different times. So obviously Jeff is going to be doing whatever. But this will also hurt Mark Briscoe, because he has been in the trio stuff with the Hardys on Collision and Rampage this whole time.
Right.
So
and Mark Briscoe just has no direction or character beyond being the brother of a dead guy.
Right, exactly. We're obviously talking about this with.
So we
Kevin
did talk
Kelly.
about this with Kevin Kelly, and he was fired. Yes.
Who replaced Kevin Kelly on commentary? Was it Shivani?
I'm not sure who replaced Kevin Kelly on Collision.
I think it was Shivani. I could be wrong about that though.
But I think that's probably just a temporary thing before they get someone more permanent on there. But
would it be? I think it would be the meanest thing if they put Ian Riccobani there. That'd be so
that
mean.
Would be so mean. Although that would make sense because they tend to film Collision and Ring of Honor on the same nights.
Right. So they're already there. I might as well do something with it. But I think that'd be kind of a slap in the face because Kevin Kelly is a good commentator.
Right.
So.
And as is Ian Riccobani.
He is. I like Ian Riccobani.
All right, Mercedes Moné probably going to AEW. Well, she pretty much confirmed at this point that she's going to AEW.
Yep.
Big business moves. But we also got to talk about the fact that she just railed on AEW for the rest of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
She's only there for the money. She's going to the WWE, back to the WWE one of these days. And that's it. I mean, if that doesn't show you how bad this promotion is being run.
Man, the online response to that podcast was just the most glorious thing. The cult, lost their ever-loving minds.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's going to be the biggest heel in the women's division that is already just a absolute train wreck and a nightmare.
Oh, my God. It is an absolute nightmare. Their women's division, I think, is bigger than all the main brand division, women's division, WWE.
And nobody feels special.
No, not even timeless Toni Storm.
Where she was, but then once again, I talked about this before about her gimmick. She went weird and crazy with the timeless stuff because she couldn't win back the AEW Women's World Champion. But now she is the AEW Women's World Champion, and she's still unhinged and crazy. That literally doesn't make sense in any capacity, and I can't even suspend my disbelief to fit that narrative. I just can't.
No, and quite honestly, like half the women on that division should not be on television anyways because they need a lot more training.
Oh, yeah. I'm hoping Mercedes at least brings some new life into that division because Lord knows that's the one that's hurting the most.
Don't think that. Every division's hurting, man.
Where we talk about those. Who are the world? Oh, that's right. The World Tag Team Champions are vacant. I'm like, who are the World Tag Team Champions? I don't even know.
Yeah, no, their biggest tag team act. Half of them retired. So.
Right. That was their biggest act.
Yeah.
Now they're retired.
So Mike Santana also left AEW.
Yeah.
But that's like a minor thing, but I still think it's important because he's not bad at his job.
No.
Like, he will fit in anywhere.
LAX were one of the hottest signings at the time that AEW ever had.
Yep.
Because they were choosing between AEW and WWE. They had both legitimate offers. I think what happened with Santana was all the drama with Ortiz. I wouldn't be surprised if Ortiz is right behind him.
And if they leave, are they going to reform LAX?
So it depends if they squash their personal issues because the issue is that they actually did not like each other.
Right. So
I'm hoping that they were able to be adults and squash it because that's not how adults act.
Right.
But I think Santana fucking off is more ammo that there is something more going on behind the scenes because we've been hearing a lot of issues.
Not that AEW doesn't already have enough issues in the back.
Right. And that's just the stuff that we know.
Right. Let's talk about
Prime.
WWE has a mat sponsor for the first time in its history.
In history. And it's Prime. It's like of any company. People were trying to say AEW does not do that, even though they have like DraftKings.
Yeah, they have DraftKings on their ring. It's the same concept.
This is inevitable. This was inevitable.
Yeah, you knew that this was going to happen when TKO formed, that they were going to start doing these mass sponsorships. So they already do with the UFC.
Yep, but here's the problem. People are like, oh my God, it's ruining. How is a fucking logo on the mat ruining the product?
I think every other promotion besides WWE has logos other than the company name on their
sports have the banners.
Yeah.
And the stadiums are literally named because that's a gigantic sponsor.
Right.
So I think I actually had a video about it, and I think it's personally cool that they did this. I think it's a step forward.
Yep. It's more opportunities for other brands, perhaps, to be like, hey, let's be a ring sponsor for Raw or SmackDown.
This is job security for all the workers. It's indicative of how absolutely white hot WWE is right now.
All right,
100
WWE is, I think, the 10th channel in history to reach 100 million subscribers.
They are the 10th largest channel in the world. I mean, the NFL is not even sniffing them right now.
Right. It just goes to show how powerful WWE's brand is.
It's not just that, how expert their marketing team is.
We can't, obviously WWE has some expertise behind them. I think a lot of the growth, though, was attributed to before the merger, but I don't think it's going to slow down anytime soon.
Well, they had, 50 goddamn years to promote shit before the merger happened. So obviously a lot of these subscribers were there before that. But
it's kind of cool that they have 100 million subscribers now. It's more than every other. It is double every other wrestling promotion combined.
It's crazy. Nobody is sniffing them, at all.
These
have been very interesting Hall of Fame choices.
Been. So I think this one's pretty cool as well. I wonder if we're going to also get a Bray Wyatt induction.
I think he needs to be I think he needs to be standalone. I think he needs to be the headliner.
He needs to be a headliner. Okay, I think here's the interesting thing though about this group. So obviously it's Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham. And if this is the same person who inspired Bray Wyatt's IRL first name, Windham Rotunda.
Yep.
So
exactly.
I thought it was pretty cool. It's a little nod, I think, to mentioning Bray Wyatt without mentioning Bray Wyatt.
Right. And then obviously Bray Wyatt's dad is going into the Hall of Fame, not as IRS, but as his name, Mike Rotunda.
As Mike Rotunda. So I think that, and they were in the first WrestleMania too, so that's nothing to sniff at. I don't think they were champions heading into the first WrestleMania, but they were in a tag team match at the first WrestleMania.
Yes, they were.
And I think it's a cool way to honor Bray Wyatt without actually having to do it because they're waiting. They're waiting for a time when he is actually going to be the headliner for that show.
I mean, they have to put him as the headliner. That death was way too, right there. And I think it would have been disrespectful to every other person if Bray was inducted without being the headliner. So far for 2024, it is Paul Heyman.
And I knew that was going to be.
Because they're in Philadelphia. Bull Nakano, who is awesome. And then now the U.S. Express. So I think that's all well and good.
All right, so John Cena said that he's free for WrestleMania. So is he indicating that he is possibly going to be involved in some manner? I think this raises a whole lot of possibilities.
I don't know what you would do with him. I think
I think that him getting involved in maybe some shenanigans with The Rock
maybe would be interesting. I think that'd be a cool moment, even though we've seen it twice.
There's a lot you can do with John Cena. Let's put it that way.
There is.
I don't know if they want to put him in a match though, like in a traditional match, like they did last time with John Cena.
I think it was the problem. People were like, oh my god, the match was really, really bad. Yeah, that was like Austin Theory's first WrestleMania, and he is facing off against John Cena for the United States champion. That's a lot of fucking pressure. And
no pressure. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. Anyways, so I thought it was interesting that he made that mention because, like we said time and time again, with all these injuries and stuff happening, it is very possible that we're gonna have a big shakeup for WrestleMania. All right, so Paul Heyman, obviously Hall of Famer. But he did reveal that he's very much involved in the creative process for the Bloodline.
Well, yeah, I've known that for a long time. He's been there because that's why he is there is because he is heavily involved with it.
But a lot of people think that maybe he's just this figurehead, but no, he actually does have a lot of involvement in the back end with a lot of these creatives. I wonder if he were to retire from on-screen roles, keep him on as a general manager of sorts or like a writer of sorts for the company. And again, this would be another great person if he wasn't signed to the WWE to take up AEW.
Well, it's not like he ran a brand that has a cult following.
Brandon has a cult following. AEW is literally a cult. He would fit right in either creative manager.
Exactly. So I think that's cool. And finally,
and obviously,
the match
we
was
all
confirmed.
know about this match being confirmed. This match was pretty much. It was pretty much there, but in name. You know,
right.
like we knew this match was going to happen ever since Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes started aligning a little bit more.
And I want to explain something because I'm seeing a lot of people bitch online about, a women's match is not main eventing WrestleMania. Give me one match that could justifiably main event WrestleMania for the women this year.
Right.
One.
There isn't. There are going to be some very high profile matches, but they're not main event worthy matches.
Like Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair had a better chance of being
that would be a main event of WrestleMania.
It's like with Becky Lynch, they did it too quickly because Becky Lynch won that, and it's like, well,
and obviously Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair were there. So
right. But it's like you need to think about this in the perspective of what WrestleMania is. It's not just a regular wrestling show. It's the quintessential wrestling show.
Right.
This is the Super Bowl of professional wrestling.
Right.
And guess what? There are a lot of people that watch this show. Why? Because it's WrestleMania, like the Stanley Cup.
You got to put the best of the best in the main event.
You have to put the people with the big ass names. Right now, Roman Reigns has cross-promotional appeal because he's been in movies.
The Rock is The Rock.
Dwayne Johnson. But, this obviously now puts Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes in a wonderful spot to put themselves over, even for cross-promotional, because both guys are very good.
Yes.
With Rollins and his flamboyant personality, that might be interesting in different projects outside of WWE. Same thing with Cody Rhodes. He is that good-looking, white meat, shining shoes, kissing babies, like baby-faced.
Right.
Just throw a Bible on him and he's the next
American
president.
Dream, right?
Right. So
or the American Nightmare.
Right.
He's the son of the American Dream.
Right.
And so it makes sense.
It does.
This to happen.
It really does. I'm excited for this WrestleMania. It continues to get stacked upon stacked upon stacked. And if you are wondering, yes, we are going to be doing the show Sunday night.
Yes.
But we won't be doing a match, no drama, no anything, unless something crazy happens.
Right. But anyways, that's pretty much it. When we come back, we're going to talk about AEW.